Hello YouTube, welcome to Factorio. I wanted to do a spotlight on this game. This is a game that's being in development by a small group of people. I think there's about 5 of them from all over the place. The main team is based in Prague, Czech Republic. And I recently picked this game up, been playing it. I really like it. And because the new trailer just came out, I thought it was a good time to go ahead and do a little spotlight video on it. So this is version 0.9.8, so everything is subject to change, really. All these graphics, and who knows if this is the final menu. But yeah, Factorio is a game about building and automating systems to produce resources. So let's get straight into this thing. There is a campaign, but it's not really a campaign. It's basically a tutorial. I'm not going to go through that. I am just going to start a new game. So the world is procedurally generated. You can change a whole bunch of settings. Basically, keeping everything on normal, perfectly fine. You can turn up the resources, but it's not really necessary. I like to turn up the number of enemy bases. And if you want to, you can also turn on peaceful mode. Although it's not really necessary. But you can do that. That way the enemies won't attack you until you attack them. And you just leave these empty. You have an infinitely sized world, or you can make it whatever size you want. Let's generate our new world and see what we get. Here we go. Welcome to This is Factorio Free Play. So what we're doing here, and it gives you some little tips there. You can scroll through. What we're doing is we've been sent to this planet ahead of a human colonization effort, and so before the main colonists arrive, we're here by ourselves to prepare the area, build up basic resources, so that when they do arrive, we'll already have their feet on the ground. So this is the game screen. You can zoom in pretty darn far. If you zoom in too far, the graphics get a little fuzzy because, but you know. Zoom in. WASD to run around. Mouse wheel to scroll in and out, and then the camera follows you. And you can also click on things, highlight them, find out what they are. Dry tree. Here we got some iron. Here we got some coal. Here we got copper, and then here and down here we've got stone, which is great. We've got all our resources right in this starting area. That's generally how it's going to work. The game, when it generates a new map, generates a starting area for you that will, I guess, have all the resources that you need. And you can make that bigger or smaller. I'll show you a world that I did, I've been working on for quite a while, where I made the starting area smaller, and you can see what happens if you make it too small. So we start off with a couple of things. We hit E to go into our inventory. The game starts us out with 8 iron plates, a burner mining drill, and a stone furnace, which is great. Otherwise, it'd take ages to get started. I'll just show you what happens. Right now, I don't have any tools. If I look down here, there's a tool slot, but I don't have one equipped right now. So if the game didn't start you with these resources, this is how long it would take you to gather a piece of iron. Yeah, it would take way too long. So it's great that the game starts you with something. It would take this long just to gather stone, and you need 5 of those to make a furnace. So anyway, how do we start out in Factorio? Well, if you go into your inventory, you've also got your crafting, and there's 4 different types. You know, your logistics for moving things around, production, the actual buildings that process things and produce whether that's electricity or goods. Intermediate products, which is all of your little bits and bobs that have to get made in the process of making these other things, as well as military and combat. Ammo, guns. You start out with a gun and 10 magazines. So, yeah. And also a radar. But you gotta be careful with radar, because they can upset the locals. So the first thing you want to do is make an iron axe. Now that I have the iron axe, it's basically an axe and a pickaxe, I can mine things a lot faster. So I can grab this dry tree, and I get some wood. Now, it does have a day-night cycle, and as you see, it's quite dark at night, but you do have a flashlight. But you know, you can still mostly see. So what I want to do is I want to get up some resources, and these burner drills run on coal. So what I like to do is throw one down on the coal. And do I have enough wood to make a chest? I do. So I can make a wooden chest, and you see it crafts right at the bottom. So your guy can craft everything, and you just it can be crafting in the background while you go about doing other things. You can see that having this this axe here has really sped up my mining. So if I put the coal in there, now it starts working. And we can see it is producing some pollution. If I hit Alt, which turns on like a extra information mode, like it's showing me what's in this chest. If you look at the mini map, it shows you like this light orange area. That's my pollution. So in this game, pollution is a game mechanic that will affect your experience. Basically, the enemies in the game, the biters, don't like pollution. So at least I don't know exactly how the aggro system works, but what I've discovered is that if your pollution like floats over one of their hives, they'll start attacking. But I could be wrong about that. I'm not 100% sure. I know pollution has something to do with because the biters do evolve over time. Like you'll start out, the game will throw small little biters at you, and then it'll start throwing bigger and bigger ones at you. So if you're not prepared, you can get overrun. So I got some coal. I'm gonna pick up this drill, and you can pick up everything like that. Now, if I didn't have the iron axe, it would have actually taken longer to pick that up. So there is some interaction with your tool, but you can pick up anything that you place down. So I'm going to throw a bunch of coal into here to start getting some iron ore. And I actually don't have to do this. The thing is that you see that the resource gets put onto the ground, and that's how this game works. It's how you manipulate items and move them around, is that they just plop into the world, and then you can influence them. But if I put a furnace here, now we see that the mine is able to put the resource directly into the furnace. So if I right click on this coal to grab half of it, and then shift left click, it's kind of like Minecraft, shift click to move whole stacks into slots, right click to split, shift right click will do both at the same time. Now it's producing iron plates, and the drill is keeping it full of the furnace full of iron ore, which is a nice way to start out. So the game starts a little bit slowly. You've got to sort of ramp it up. You know, you start out making things manually like this, and then you quickly get up to some small scale production, and then eventually you get up to larger scale production. What I like to do is to just jump straight from burner drills to electric ones, so I don't even bother generally with making any more burner things, but you could. So I'm just gonna play this how I usually play this. So I'm mining some copper. 5. I've only been playing this game for a few weeks, so I'm by no means even good at this game. I'm sure I'm not. I can already tell I'm not good at it. You start out with like pretty basic systems. Like I use like basic conveyors and things. I haven't really gotten into more complex like logic, because there are like wires you can place down that'll like put logic into your systems, but I haven't gotten into any of that. So now I've got some copper plates, because these are the two main building blocks of like everything else. So if I hover over a steam engine, you can see that what it requires is 5 pipes, 5 iron plates, 5 iron gear wheels, and at the bottom there you see total raw. It tells you how long it'll take. It'll take 5.5 seconds, and it'll take 20 iron plates. But notice how the pipes and the gear wheels are in yellow. It means I don't have any of those, but if I click the steam engine, it'll craft those for me, which is awesome. So you don't have to craft the intermediate products yourself before crafting these. It'll just do it if you have enough raw materials, which is awesome. I'm really happy that that's the direction they decided to go. So now I've got a steam engine, which is what I need to produce power, but what I also need is one of these offshore pumps, which takes a pipe, a gear wheel, and 2 circuits. That's why I needed the copper. So if I make this offshore pump, that'll be done in a sec, I can go over here to this water source, and I can place it. And this doesn't require any power. It just works by itself, and will pump water out of this side here. You can see there's like a pipe fitting here. So if I was to grab some pipe, like I'll make like 2 pipe, stick it there, and see it's filled out with water now. So if I hover over the pipe, it'll tell me what's in it, which is another great feature, and it tells me the temperature of the liquid, which is 15. And that's important because in order to produce power with a steam engine, you have to get it up to 100. So I'm assuming that this game uses the metric system. I mean, obviously it probably does because they're based in Europe. So let me grab some more coal. And you don't have to do this the way that I'm doing it. I just don't see the point of making burner drills because you can't like break them down and salvage the parts later. Like you can make these burner inserters to automate placing things around, but you gotta feed them with coal and there's no way to automate it. Whereas if you get power up, you can make these electric ones. So I want to go ahead and make a boiler. So I need another furnace, and to do that, to get that, I need stone. So I can come over here, grab some stone. I really like this game, and it does start rather slowly. I can tell that this is probably going to be a game that you're either going to really like or you're not going to like. I think that if you like the I didn't really have to craft that. I'm trying to relate this to Minecraft somehow. Basically, I think if you enjoy tech mods in Minecraft and you enjoy automating production of things, you probably enjoy this game. But there are going to be people who won't like how slowly it starts and things like that. But anyway, so and I got a boiler, and the cool thing about the game is that you notice that it's green even when I hover it over the pipe that's already been placed down, because they've done this really well in that you can replace the pipe with a boiler without getting rid of the pipe, which is awesome that they've done that. So I can place that there. I can place my steam engine, and then this has been changed. For the new trailer, they came out with a new steam engine, but this version, the game hasn't been updated yet with the new steam engine. So anyway, quite a few iron plates. Now I just need some more coal. Just gonna grab some here. 5. Now if I throw the coal into this boiler, it's going to burn pretty quick. I also need to make some electric poles, because you have to actually divert the electricity around. Now the blue area around this pole is its serviceable area, so only blocks that are machines that are inside this area will get power from this pole, and you see the machine will highlight in blue when it's going to be powered, just to help you figure out where to put it. So I want to put it there. And there's nowhere for this power to go yet. And as you notice, there's a maximum range that you can place these from each other where the wires will stop stretching, and I need more wood and copper for that to do more. So you start out with these like tier 1 things, and then you get up. So this thing I need to it stopped consuming actually the liquid. I need to hook this up to something that uses the power in order for this to actually get going. So I need to get transport belts. I'm just going to make a whole bunch of them, as many as I possibly can. It's going to make all the gears first. So you got to be careful with crafting things massively in bulk, because if you do, you can get that where it'll take you forever to get what you actually want, because it's going to craft all the intermediate components. So you might want to just, if you left click and just keep left clicking, then you'll queue it up to craft each one as it goes. So now I've got 38 conveyor belts, transport belts it calls it, and so what I want to do is set it up so that I can automatically put coal into this boiler here. So I'm going to go down like this, and I'm not really concerned with let's see here. I'm not really concerned with efficiency at the moment. Just showing you what's going on. Grab some coal. Let's pop this off again. We'll just leave that there. Yeah, I do a bit of a slower start. Yeah, that's just because I can't see the appeal of making the burners past the first one. It's because as soon as you get electricity, which is pretty soon, pretty quickly you get it, you're not going to use those anymore. You're just not going to need them. So there we go. That'll reach. Now what I need to do is get up an electric mining drill, and that requires 4.5 of the copper, 23 of the iron. So hopefully this will keep going, and I'll go grab some copper. Sorry if this is a bit boring, but this is a you know, basically a first look, so you can see what's up. This is how you start the game. You do get into some pretty awesome stuff. I mean, once you get out of this phase, this is the only phase I've found that really takes a while. It's just getting built up from nothing at the very beginning. You know, once you get like some very basic stuff up, like it becomes much much faster, because everything's happening all at once. You know, you can get the resources coming out constantly, and you don't have to worry about it, and that of course frees you up to do other things, which is the whole basis of automation, which this game does really well. Let's put that in there, put that in there, grab that. I'm gonna need one more pole, so I need some wood. There's always some wood. Like I said, the starting area I'm pretty sure is programmed to always. Oop, my tool broke. Make another one. The starting area I'm pretty sure is set up to always give you the necessities, the bare necessities of what you need. So you don't got to worry about that. There. So now the power poles are set up so that once I get my electric mining drill, I can set it up to. Actually, I'm going to need one more copper, because it actually takes 4.5. You might be wondering how you can have 4.5 copper bars. That represents an extra copper wire, because you actually get 2 copper wires out of every copper plate. So that's what that represents. So now I can make my electric mining drill, and you see the parts crafting, the gears, the wire, and the circuits. The circuits use the wire and some iron and to craft. Now I've got my electric mining drill. Let me grab this up here. Place this here. Now when you move these drills around, you'll notice there's a coverage area, and it'll tell you over on the right hand side the expected resources. Now what that means is that's how much resources this one mining drill will be able to pull out until it exhausts all the mineral deposits that are in that little area. So you'll see as fewer and fewer deposits are in the area, the number goes down. And when you first start, it doesn't really matter. You don't really have to worry about fully saturating this unless most efficiently, unless you really want to. But it's not really necessary, I find, at least for right now. So now this has power. If you hover over these electric poles, you'll actually see something called electric demand satisfaction. You got to keep an eye on your power supply and your power requirements. I need another circuit. I need to make an inserter. Because if you get too many buildings up that use electricity, and you don't have the generation necessary, everything will still attempt to run, but your power grid will be overloaded, and what will happen is that various buildings will start browning out, and they'll start running slower, and then after a while everything will just stop because you don't have enough power. So I've set up this thing. It's called an inserter, and combined with the conveyor belts, conveyors and inserters are your most basic and probably will be your most used method of moving things around. You need to use inserters to take items from one source and move it to another source. So from a chest to a boiler, from a conveyor to a boiler, from an assembler to another assembler. Every time you're moving an item from one transport medium into another thing, you need to use an inserter. And they don't take a lot of power, only 13 kilowatts. And you can see if there's a way to find out how much you're producing. So let me figure that out. I forgot, actually. There's a button you can get if I hit okay, I don't actually remember. Alt and okay, if you hold Alt, or maybe you don't have to hold Alt, if you just right click on the electric pole, it'll bring up this screen, and this shows my electric network information, how much power I'm consuming, how much I'm producing. So I'm producing 90 kilowatts and I'm consuming all of it. Whereas, you know, as I add more to this will start producing more power. It's not maxed out. You see, it's got its current performance and its available performance. The available performance is determined by how hot the water is. Once it's at 100, it'll have full performance. I mean, available performance. And as you add buildings that require electricity, the actual performance will go up. And once that performance bar hits the top and tries to exceed it, that's when you start failing on the electric demand. So this video's, I gotta cut this, it's been 20 minutes. As you can see, I've got my most basic setup here because that now we have our power situation sorted, where this mining drill is sending coal over to my boiler to produce electricity. Now I can create more electric mining drills to get me iron and copper, place down more power, and that's the basics. So I am planning on doing more videos on Factorio. I will link in the description to the Factorio trailer that just came out May 1st. It's really great. So check that out. It'll show you all the stuff that you can look forward to being able to use in Factorio. So I'll see you next time. I'm SentinalH, and I'm signing out.